All right. Ooh. Had to do some of that mental, emotional, and energy work. God. Ooh. To this sweat. What's going on? It's cleared out, but now what? I don't want nobody to squeeze me. They may take away my life. Give me one reason to stay here. Uh-oh, is it Trouble in Paradise? I feel restless. It's giving me like nervousness. Ooh, you got my number. I've got your number. And you've got mine. Why is that song in my head? Give me one reason to stay here. That's the trauma bond. Don't be trying to trauma bond. I'm good. I'm good. Don't try to trauma bond. I'm good. Okay? You know, you got to learn how to heal yourself. You got to learn how to heal yourself. You got to learn how to do the work. Stop vamping. Stop trying to vamp people. There is a healthier way to connect to people, and it's not through trauma bonding. And it's like, even when you do trauma bond with people, it's kind of like, okay, you could trauma bond in the beginning, right? Because to me, trauma bonding is falling in love. You know, we fall in love, but we must remember to rise in love too. You know, I got to be careful because they love pulling me down there in the deep depths of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And they be wanting to hold me down there. This is why we can't really establish the trust. You know? Because it's kind of like you're so in need. You're so in need. And when you can't provide it for yourself, you know, it's you know, you're falling down. And you trying to bring somebody else down with you. Well, somebody got to tell the story. So, you know, you got to have somebody who can land on their feet. You understand what I'm saying? They land on their feet, then they can help pull you up. So that's what I'm saying. The trust is not there. It's like you trying to fall, but it's like you want me to fall with you. What is the point in that? That makes no sense. It's given like toxic, you know. Well, trauma bonding is toxic. It's like Romeo and Juliet. If I die, you die. You know? my thing is that they didn't kill each other. And they didn't kill themselves for each other. It was supposed to be a Machiavelli situation. You understand? They were supposed to fake that shit and then just disappear and live a happily ever loving life. The misconception and it clouds your perception of things, your ability to be able to perceive in a higher state of mind, state of being. Yes, my feelings are hurt, but I'm not gonna fall into despair. It would have been nice if I got some dick out of the situation. You know, it would have been a little better. Good dick. But, ooh, I'm being bad. You know, you see, you haven't mastered your shadow self yet. You're still destructive. You know, you know, after a while, nobody wants to deal with your destruction. You know, sometimes some people they can only help themselves. You know, other people can't help them. You know, you want change within your life, it first starts with you. You know? It's not about the master of destruction, it is the art of destruction. Not everything about you needs to self-destruct. You know, sometimes we have to have those realizations about ourselves. You know, and when we have those realizations, it's kind of like it just exposes something about us. So that's like the sign, like, hey, you know, you know, there's a faulty brick within my foundation, right? So we get rid of that brick, we make a new one. You can go out and buy one, it don't matter. You know, I prefer you to get creative. So it's just like, you know, use your resources. The less that you have to work with, the more creative you're forced to be. And being creative, you know, is healing. You heal yourself through creativity. What is alchemy? When we, you know, when we take, you know, heartbreak, when we take the betrayal, the humiliation, and we turn it into something beautiful without trauma bonding. You don't have to express, you know, you don't have to express or throw your toxicity or your problems onto other individuals. You know? But I feel like until you value artistry, it's, you know, you're not gonna understand. So what you are in need of is more substance and more depth within self. But my thing is that you don't want the change because you don't want to put in the work. So you're not good with change. And my thing is, in the beginning, some people, they adapt to change right away. Some people, it's a little shaky, it's a little rocky in the beginning, but they get through it. Some people, you know, they need somebody else to help, you know, be their little, you know, cheerleader, you know, throughout the way, you know, to get them on their feet, to get them going. You see people's pain and people's vulnerability as a weakness. You play on people. That's why, that's why you always trauma bonding, because you don't know how to connect to people. You don't know how to connect to other people because you're not connected to yourself. Right? So we need to start the self-discovery journey. There's something about acceptance too. Well, that all has to do with the self-discovery journey. And then on top of that, I pick up that you like to make people the target of your pain. You have a problem. It's your problem. Nobody else is really going to care about your problems. I feel like at this point in time within your life, nobody wants to deal with you. So you're just out here scavenging, scrambling, trying to figure out where you can get a hold on, where you can sink your teeth into somebody, where you can find that safety net, where you can find that boost. I do pick up that you're a woman. You do not do well with other women. You are man focused. I feel like it roots back to your childhood. You got issues with your mom. So the thing is that who you wanted your mother to be to you is who you have to be to your children. That is what your trauma is trying to tell you. Stop trying to come for me. Stop trying to come for me. Leave me alone. I'm not your problem. You running away from yourself. You're not going to find you in me. We are not the same. I don't act out and misbehave over heartbreak. You got a long way to go, Miss Thing. But I gave you the key. The key, well, you need to start your self-discovery journey, but, you need to become the woman that you wish your mother was. If you want to get personal, I feel like I'm the woman you wish your mother was. You a beastly woman, but I know how to handle you. Yes, sir. Your shit. Whatever, darling. So we're moving on. Okay, so we're going to jump into the reading. So you have judgment in the position of your crown. Okay, so you have the crown of discernment. You have the gift of discernment. You can discern situations. You can discern situations. Hold on. Okay. This is Archangel Michael too. So your crown is also being protected and assisted by Archangel Michael. And then on top of that, Archangel Michael, not only is he the spiritual warrior, with having this gift, this is what makes you a spiritual warrior. Okay, Michael is the baddest. That's the strongest one. So, it's like Michael teaches you how to communicate with other angels. Okay, and a lot of it is going to be through sacrednicity and numerology. We have Temperance in reverse, King of Wands in reverse, Justice in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. Then we have the Magician. And we have the Ten of Wands. You got people trying to make you, it's like they're trying to get you to make them your responsibility. People have created an unjust, meaning that they prejudged you before they knew you. And the pressure that you apply for people to put the harmony back into the situation, they cannot rise to the occasion. So this is what happens. It's kind of like people expose themselves when they try to come for you. This was a serious injustice. This is Angels and Mayat. So we have a fallen angel. Somebody has anger issues. Somebody is ill-tempered. They have issues with sobriety. They're very impatient. Okay? What's up with this masculinity? In reverse, all this. You see, when people look at you, they don't see, they judge you. People don't see you. God be having you cloaked. This is what you call God's secret weapon, so you may be a psychic medium. Okay? So, right now you're applying pressure and these people can't match it. They can't. That's why with some people, it's kind of like, don't judge a book by its cover. And when it comes to some people, just don't fuck with them. Just try to be a decent person. Stop hating. Control your jealousy. Take accountability and reflect on you and the role in which that you play within the situations, with how you are connecting to other people. Now we got a whole bunch of indecision. It's like somebody, it's a couple of people, they getting fucked up by their own spirit guides. They just like, well, damn, well, who is that? Who is this person? You got to be patient. Stop thinking you know everything. You don't know everything. And then you look at somebody and you see them beneath you. Well, most people with authority do that. But some individuals hold a different type of authority. You can't look at what somebody got. You can't look at how somebody is carrying themselves. You cannot judge a book by its cover, and that is the biggest lesson here. So we have the fallen angel, and then we have this injustice. So it's kind of like you sabotaged your spirit guides too. You thought that you was coming for this person. And I'm talking to the individuals on the outside. You thought that you was coming for this person, but you didn't know that you was coming for something greater too. Now motherfuckers is scrambling trying to figure out who is this person. They trying to figure out who you are. And the thing is that whatever pressure they apply to you, you can eat it. So this is people dishing what they can't take. Don't put out what you cannot take, what you cannot receive back. Now, when it comes to you, who this reading is for, you have a lot of responsibilities, You have a lot that you're working with here because, you come off as the magician. All right, so you have a lot that you're working with, and this is why people, you You're just a mystery to people. You have so much to work with. You have so many things that you can do that you're capable of. And people don't know. They don't know what you know. They don't know what you can do. They don't know. They think that they do because they think that they just so much better. Like that's why I say spiritual warfare starts within. You think that you're better than somebody, now you got something to prove. Well, if you think that you're better than somebody, why can't you just think that and move the hell on? Why do you have to act on it? Why do you gotta even speak on it? Then you get your spirit team, your spirit guys involved. My thing is, I feel like you're a woman and there were two men that wanted you. And the thing is that, to where they want to be at war with each other, it's like there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture to this situation other than them and their manhood being challenged and their egos being challenged. You understand? So now, you have to take on the situation and the mission by yourself. Obviously it's easy for these two men to lose focus and sight of what is truly important. So to where they're sitting up here trying to make it seem like you have a choice to make, neither one of them are a good option. They both have shown you how they sitting up here beefing and they just alike. They trying to say who the bigger man, who the better man, child. They just two peas in the goddamn pie. So I just kind of feel like, they have some things to reflect on now, because in the midst of their warfare, they hurt you. Something has happened to you. But you can pull that rabbit out of your hat. Now it's kind of like they're going to be scrambling around trying to figure out how they can make it right. They're trying to figure out how they can do it. But the thing is that I believe you make them nervous because of the type of pressure that you apply. You apply that pressure, it's royalty. You can't just come to me any kind of way. You can't just do me any kind of way. You cannot handle me just any kind of way. So who we tapped into earlier must have been that karmic. Okay? So it's kind of like that karmic, for one, she may have been doing some type of spell work or something on these two individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to play puppet master with, it could have been a man, but I really pick up a woman, like trying to cause you some type of double heartbreak or some shit. Like she's gone. She's not even here. Okay? She for the streets. She about to go to jail too. She about to go to prison. So the thing is that, this is a very sad situation, all because one person got so much to prove. And then they get other people involved. And my thing is that even if these individuals weren't under some type of hypnosis of hers, she has some type of negative influence. That's why I say, man, destruction. That woman is very destructive. She destroys stuff. She need to be behind bars. Physically and spiritually. Somebody said they gonna have fun with that ass in jail. And that's not on no shit to where she's gonna be raped or nothing like that. It don't got nothing to do with that. You know, but I don't know. You see, bitches be trying to act hard until they come across some hard bitches. Then you see who the real bitch is. You know, when you got all that protection, when you got all that distance, you want to sit back and you want to run that mouth. But when you got to be face to face with them demons, we'll see how you do. You gonna have a whole institution of them. Them bitches gonna be jumping in and out of motherfuckers. You gonna think you losing your mind. I'm gonna give you another key, girl, because goddamn, you need a lot. You gonna have to learn from them shadows, and you gonna have to face them. That's the only way you gonna make it out of there. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. So now, you know, well, she did a favor. Because if these two individuals was trying to fight over you and there's a bigger picture to the situation, now they have been sat down. So now with them sitting down, it's kind of like now, okay, you can, you see, that be the trap. Motherfuckers be thinking that they trying to fuck it up for you and they only make things better for you. She made it good for you to be able to work this situation. Because if these two knuckleheads hadn't been knocked out, then they would have still been at it, making it hard for you. And it's not about you. There's a bigger picture here with the three of you. So, now you're going to have extra help that's going to come in here and help to assist you with these two individuals. It's not a choice. It was never a choice. And I feel like that's what they don't understand. But I do believe that the both of them, I do believe that they told themselves that they were so in love with you. And then when it comes to saying and showing, they prove that that is not true. Which means that they've been doing things because they thought that they was going to get away with it. Who are you when nobody is watching is the question. That is who you truly are. If you can get away with some shit, are you going to do it? Knowing that it's not right and it could potentially hurt somebody else? All right now. Okay. So you're going to be feeling more of the responsibility. You're going to feel more of the overwhelmingness, more of the burden. Because, now these two individuals is like, you're not responsible for that, but they do need your help. And with you having extra guidance and help with you, you got to do it. Right? All right. So, that's going to conclude the reading. Until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.